What is up with show? Let's go, guys. Another banger from Jack Pockets. What is the most evil company ever? I think I do have some names though, but I'm not sure. We're gonna find out in this video. Let's go.
The world's most evil companies are hiding in plain
McDonald's.
sight.
McDonald's, dude, I know the food is not healthy, but that shit is good, man. I hate it. Why is everything life that is good sometimes or most of the times is not healthy? Well, some things are, but I don't know. I ask myself that question every day. Why is everything good so rare and like it's not healthy, but everything bad or that is healthy is bad, and we don't want that. We only want what's bad for us. We don't want what's good for us, or what's good for us. There's a cost or whatever. I don't know, dude. Fuck, I don't know.
Some build their empires with child slaves. Others are
Nike.
watching you as we speak. And one is literally in your blood. But don't worry, because in this video, you'll see what the worst of these organizations have been doing behind the scenes. All to find out what is the most evil company.
Dude, W editing, as usual.
Starting with the largest athletic brand in the world, Nike. In the 1970s, started making use of factories in Asia where workers
Did they start in Vietnam?
were paid
Look at how many workers are in there.
14 cents an hour,
Shoo, 14 cents an hour.
exposed to incredibly toxic fumes and physically and verbally abused. Nike initially brushed off these issues until a 4K image of a 12-year-old Pakistani boy sewing Nike soccer balls sparked public outrage. Facing a tanking reputation, Nike apologized and announced
Nike pledges to end child labor and apply U.S. rule abroad. Lies, lies, lies.
they would be fixing their labor practices, but to this day, they still just haven't stopped doing it.
I know that's not funny, but the pun or wordplay here is awesome.
But is a little slave labor really that bad compared to companies who have killed millions, caused drug crises, and even tried to destroy the planet? So to find the most evil company ever, let's get even worse, with a brand you've probably drank before. In 1886, an American Civil War veteran was looking to find a substitute for his
John Pemberton.
morphine addiction. So he mixed together cocaine, caffeine, and sugar syrup into a drink he called Coca-Cola. It was marketed as a cure for headaches and fatigue. It definitely cured fatigue, but
Bro, the thing is, I drink Coca-Cola pretty much every day. I'm addicted to this shit. And like, because I have a lot of anxiety, this thing kind of lowers my anxiety, but I know it's not healthy for me. And ultimately, I do have to stop drinking it because it's just not healthy, I think, at all, Coca-Cola. But the thing is so good. And like, dude, it's like I said, why is it that what we want and what is good for us, I mean, what we want is usually not what we need or whatever.
sadly in 1904, facing public and regulatory pressure, Coke had to stop using actual Coke in their formula, and human productivity has never recovered. But as health sciences improved in the 1960s, Coke had a bigger problem. How do you get a health-conscious world to buy
All these canned
diabetes? Well, if you're Coke, the answer is spend millions of dollars funding corrupt health organizations to push the narrative that obesity is just caused by a lack of exercise. Lobby against dietary guidelines and sugar taxes, then sponsor the Olympics and professional athletes to subconsciously make your products appear more healthy. Tell
Look at all of that.
the world you don't advertise to children, then popularize Santa Claus with your
The only time
marketing and put vending machines in elementary schools. Then to boost your profits, outsource to bottling plants that assassinate union members and drain entire towns' water supplies. Coca-Cola's devious tactics have made them the largest beverage brand on the planet, giving
the thing is, I was gonna say, the only time in my life in which I didn't drink Coca at all is when I was a pretty much full-time athlete. That was when I was super young and I wanted to do and sport professionally, and I was just doing all of that 24/7, and I was so like healthy. I wasn't drinking any sodas, anything. But ever since I stopped, like, dude, this is a game over for me, you know. Just cannot stop drinking it.
giving out 2 billion servings a day, and human arteries have never recovered.
Oh, okay. 100,000 deaths worldwide linked to sugary drink consumption. Are you for real?
But this next company kills you a lot faster than sugar. Boeing.
Let's go.
When developing the 737 MAX, realized the plane would tilt upward during takeoff, so they used a software called MCAS to automatically push the tilting plane back down. But
MCAS.
adding this system would require extra pilot training.
Look at that keyframe thing done in After Effects. That is amazing. W editing. It might look simple, but it's really not that simple. Y'all. What's up with y'all?
Which would be expensive and time-consuming. So to avoid all that, Boeing didn't tell anyone about it, including the pilots.
It's still a mystery tonight what caused this brand new plane to crash into the ocean.
The pilots of Lion Air Flight 610 fought a tug-of-war battle with the plane's computer, finally losing the battle as the plane slammed into the ocean at 450 miles per hour.
After the crash of Lion Air Flight 610, the regulators conducted a risk assessment that estimated there would be 15 more 737 MAX crashes if MCAS wasn't fixed. They didn't release this report.
How did they even calculate it?
Instead, they sent out a brief memo to pilots with no mention of MCAS and kept the planes in the air. 5 months later, another 737 MAX crashed in the exact same way. The planes were then banned from flying, and Boeing had 346 deaths on their hands.
Damn. But you know what? Boeing or whatever, they're still working. If you just type it on Google, at least until the day this video is published already, they're still running like nothing ever happened. There's too much money involved at this point.
Their market value dropped by 25%. They were fined $2.5 billion for damages and fraud. Their CEO got fired, of course with a little parting gift.
$62 million for being fired. That's fucked up.
And Boeing promised a new commitment to safety.
Party and gift.
By 2020, the 737 MAX was back in the skies, and 4 years later, a door blew off. Luckily, no one was sitting by the door, so there were no fatalities, with the exception of Boeing's reputation. Their promise of a
Bro, that is, imagine you're on the plane and then out of nowhere the door blows off midair and there's nothing you can do and you're gonna be sucked out of the plane because of the energy. Not the energy, the pressure, I guess, right? The air pressure or whatever the heck. It's gonna suck you out of the plane, and then it's gonna be like a movie scene. Would it be possible? I don't know. I might just be tripping. I think I'm tripping.
A new commitment to safety fell apart when investigations found the door had been installed with no bolts. Boeing's horrendous quality control, like using Dawn dish soap as lubricant, hotel key cards to check seals, and scrapped parts as replacements on real aircrafts, began getting exposed by whistleblower after whistleblower, a suspicious amount of whom are now dead.
Ooh.
Huh. The whole reason Boeing cut corners was to try and make more money to beat their main competitor. They ended up killing hundreds of people, losing billions of dollars, and getting beaten by that competitor. So Boeing screwed themselves in every possible way, except for their doors.
But they're still working though. Like I said, they're still running like never ever happened.
But let's get
That's fucked up, right? But that's how it works.
even more.
So remember, y'all, if y'all gonna fly to another place, remember what happened to Boeing. Or Boeing, yeah.
Or evil with the
So far we have Nike, which is evil, child labor, Coca-Cola, sugar and diabetes, and Boeing for killing hundreds of people because of lack of security and structure and maintenance.
company that just might play a role in your entire life.
Which y'all think is winning until now?
You're born, and your first meal
You,
is a bottle of baby formula.
which is made from Nestle.
As a kid, your favorite treats become Kit Kats and Crunch Bars. At home, you eat Hot Pockets and drink Poland
Jack Pockets.
Spring, or Pure Life, or Pellegrino, depending on your parents' socioeconomic status.
Damn.
As you get older and find your first job, you survive off instant coffee and lean cuisine. Then on your deathbed, you get your choice of feeding tube mixes. Nutrin, Complete, Peptamin, then you die. And Nestle loses a lifetime customer.
Whoa, hold on. So since you're a kid, all these products are from freaking Nestle. Kit Kat, I love Kit Kat. Crunch, I like Crunch. Hot Pockets, don't know what Hot Pockets is because I think it's from America. Poland Spring, I have no idea what it is. Pure Life, I think it's water, the water bottle. Pellegrino, Nescafe, good. Lean Cuisine, good. I have never taken it, but must be good. So they work with it throughout your whole entire life, man. Now this is actually evil because this is not like the plane, because like the plane, they killed some people, which is really bad. Like there doesn't justify it, but like in here, they actually are using the whole process of the human being to suck everything they can from the moment you're born until the moment you're dead. Now this is real evil because this is calculated, and for every single body that is born and raised and then all the way up to their deathbed, right? And with food, it's even worse because on a plane, you not everybody's gonna like fly planes or anything, but like food wise, everybody needs to eat food. Everybody needs like, dude, oh my god. Now this is kind of evil. This is very evil.
Nestle is the world's biggest alleged food company, and they're well known for being
Food.
comedically evil. You might have heard of their extensive use of child labor. In 2001, the US tried to fight back against this by making a law that required slave labor labeling on chocolate wrappers. But
Slave laboring? What the heck?
Nestle and their cronies lobbied it out of existence. They instead pinky promised to phase out child labor by 2005.
I'll stop it, I promise. Lies again.
After missing that deadline, they delayed it to 2008, then 2010, then 2020. They'll get to it one day. You might have heard of Nestle draining water from water-struggling communities using cheaper expired permits, then selling it back to them in
Like, why? Why?
overpriced plastic. But Nestle's most evil tactic began in the 1970s. In order to expand the market for their baby formula, they sent saleswomen dressed as nurses to developing countries to promote the product as a superior alternative to old-fashioned breast milk. Not only was this not true, but formula has to be mixed with water, and Nestle was promoting in places where water was contaminated. Nestle targeted these families with free samples that lasted just long enough for the mother to lose her ability to produce breast milk, leaving her no choice but to continue buying the formula. What resulted was a massive amount of breastfed babies switching to formula and getting sick. It's estimated that Nestle's campaign caused over 10 million deaths, but something a lot stranger happened in China.
10 million deaths. Now this is actually evil.
In 2008, the same
But I still think I still think that Nestle is winning here because, like I said, it's food wise, and like everything's just strategically calculated. Like I said, from the moment you wake up or from the moment you're born until the moment you're dead, because they are involved with all of your age process, right? Your young formative years, as you're a young adult, older adult, an elder person. Damn, man.
group secretly added a chemical called melamine to their baby formula to boost its protein count. This contaminated formula caused health problems for over 300,000 children in China, and 6 of them died. But unlike Nestle, the Sanlu executives faced criminal punishment. Some of them were sent to prison, but 2 of them were sentenced to death.
Whoa.
After getting millions in compensation claims from victims, Sanlu declared bankruptcy and was fully dissolved. Nestle caused much more damage, but their alleged food company is still thriving.
It's probably because they have much more because the thing is they can do whatever they want under the rug and nobody gives a shit because they have power, they have influence, they have everything. I even know a friend that worked at Nestle. He's Brazilian too, and he worked at Nestle in the company. And he told me that he was so tired of it, and like they used to like pretty much get all of his energy, like suck the life out of him, pretty much like the work, because he had to do so many things. And like, dude, it was evil, and then he quit. I think after 7 years, he quit the job to do something else. But like, dog, this is insane to me. This is actually insane.
Nestle is a strong candidate for the most evil company ever.
Strong candidate.
But this next company is evil for a very different reason. After 9/11, the United States launched the
9/11 was crazy. I think I was 2001. I think I was 2 years old when that happened. 2 years old. Pretty much I was just born. I didn't know what anything was. And I only found out about that when I was way young, older, of course. And the thing that imagine the people who actually were in there. I know this has nothing to do with the video, but like imagine the people who were in there at that exact same moment. I always think about it.
Biggest mass surveillance program in history. It was called Total Information Awareness, and it was made to collect and monitor everyone's private data with the goal of finding terrorists before they could act. But after public protest, it was shut down in 2003, and the US narrowly avoided becoming a dystopian surveillance state. A few months later, two guys founded Palantir. One of those guys was PayPal billionaire Peter Thiel.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right?
The other guy was philosophy major Alex Karp.
I spent a lot of time talking to Nazis, like real Nazis.
After getting
What?
funding from the CIA, they would end up building Palantir into one of the most controversial companies ever.
Our product is used on occasion to kill people.
What?
So, what does Palantir actually do?
Tem uma ideia de app web que vale milhões? Com a Hostinger Horizons, ela vira realidade.
Large companies,
Wendy's, Airbus, Ferrari, Google, Walmart, Apple, CVS Health, FedEx, Amazon, McDonald's, United Healthcare, ExxonMobil.
as well as countries, collect a lot of data on their customers. So much data that they can't make any sense of it. This is where Palantir comes in. They'll analyze all that data with AI and put it into one platform designed to help make actionable decisions. It's been used on everything, from helping allocate resources after disasters or during pandemics, to optimizing the Wendy's supply chain, to spying on employees at JP Morgan, to workplace deportations and predictive policing. But if you happen to have an all-powerful tool that will analyze an infinite amount of personal data, you could also use it
To scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
Damn.
Put the fear of like death into our adversaries at any random moment. Why do we wait till our enemies attack?
And they need to wake up scared and go to bed scared. Something really bad is going to happen to you and your friends and your cousins.
We'll go after your assets, we'll go after everything. We'll keep on going for generations.
Palantir's biggest market is war. In the US, they get paid billions of dollars to make the American warfighter fight the way they were born to fight. In Ukraine, they handed over the kill chain, a software that handles everything from finding a target to destroying them. With
The kill chain?
Israel, Palantir helps power the military's war machine. Their work is very secretive, but we do know that they're pretty good pals.
Your AI and your technology from Palantir kills Palestinians!
Mostly terrorists, that's true.
Palantir is just a tool.
Damn.
All it does is analyze other people's data. But the strength of this tool and how it can be used give it a concerning level of influence.
Our primary mission is, in fact, to set a global standard for the world for behavior.
Palantir pretty much markets itself as evil, but another company you would never expect is even worse.
What do y'all think about it?
In 1899, two banana businessmen merged together to form the United Fruit Company. Their
Banana business.
first course of action was conquering Central America. They bought up land, built entire towns, and took control of infrastructure in places like Guatemala, Honduras, and Colombia in order to
Honduras.
exploit their populations for banana production. These pimped out countries became known as banana republics. Conditions for workers obviously sucked, so in 1928, they went on strike with a list of demands. United Fruit refused to negotiate and instead went over to their boy, the United States, and they were like, "We're in trouble.
Look at the storytelling here, bro.
Our workers are
Our slave. Oh my god, no. He's so. Oh my god, Jack.
revolting. They want us to pay them in money
Okay, hold on.
instead. We're in trouble. Our workers are revolting. They want us to pay them in money instead of coupons.
Oh my god. They want money? Yo, they want to have rights? Oh my god, they want to feel like they're humans? They want to have a life? Not on my watch, baby. What you mean? You're not going to have a life. I'm going to have a life. You're going to work for me, you brokies.
And get a 6-day work week instead of 7. Dang. We'd love to help you, but we're a bit preoccupied with rich white people activities.
What?
So if you'll excuse me. Wait! They're communists.
'28 banana massacre. 1,000 workers family killed / family killed. Damn.
After indirectly rampaging their own workers, the United Fruit Company did it again. But this time, they got the US to overthrow the Guatemalan government and replace the leader they didn't like with a dictator who assassinated a bunch of people. Then he got assassinated, and Guatemala went into a 36-year-long civil war that killed almost 200,000 people.
Whoa.
Dang. We'd love to help them, but we're a bit preoccupied with bananas.
Dang.
United Fruit.
Dude, you see how the storytelling here is amazing. He's using jokes, irony, animation, everything to explain something so complex and difficult, and he's making it interesting for the audience, and that's why the videos get so many views, I guess, because like, dude, he is a freaking great storyteller. I don't know much about, history and the banana massacre or whatever, but dude, these videos, they're very informative and really interesting to watch, man.
Would later rebrand to Chiquita Banana,
Chiquita,
leaning into the friendlier theme to distract you from their country-destroying imperialism. Chiquita has generally stayed out of trouble, only doing small things here and there, like giving millions of dollars to paramilitary terrorist organizations.
Chiquita ordered to pay Colombian families $38 million for backing death squads. Chiquita argued that if the victim of a mafia-like extortion scheme, that it was forced to pay the paramilitaries and that it did so to protect the employees. But thanks to several damaging documents, the jury concluded that Chiquita's support for the paramilitaries was voluntary. Whoa.
But banana companies aren't the only ones messing.
But yo, I still think that here, Palantir or even Nestle is still the worst.
Entire countries. When Facebook went public in 2012, almost everyone with internet was already on their platform. They needed a new way to expand, and Zuck had the perfect idea. He started Internet.org, which would bring internet to developing countries through Facebook products. His new customer acquisition conquest began in Zambia, then the Philippines, India, Colombia, Myanmar. Wait, what? There's a problem in India. Like a serious problem. They're using Facebook to spread fake images claiming that Buddhists are massacring Muslims and it's leading to riots where people are dying. Oh no. Keep going. Expansion continued until Facebook had conquered 100 million new users. But this is where things started falling apart.
Why is this so ridiculously funny?
See, Facebook's moderation technology
and informative at the same time.
Technology didn't work properly with different languages, and their moderation teams were incredibly understaffed and clueless about local culture. This lack of oversight led to Facebook becoming a propaganda tool for dictators in places like the Philippines and Cambodia. The Sri Lankan government accused Facebook of failing to control posts that contributed to deadly riots. Same with Ethiopia. And in Myanmar.
But it's really hard to do that, because imagine, I think this is more like a human problem, right? Because like, just think about it. No matter what, if humans are involved in it, they're most likely going to screw it up in some way, because it's not under his control 100%. It's the same thing that happens with YouTube ads and running all these like get rich quick schemes, because it's just too many people, it's just too many things involved, like thousands of millions of ads from people. It's really hard to control everything because it's a human thing. It's like the same thing, not just in these countries of the videos, but in other countries as well. Even in my country, there's so many fake stories, there's so many fake propaganda, so much misleading things, like fake information, all of that because humans are the problem in this case, you know what I'm saying?
Facebook played a determining role in a genocide, according to the UN. Facebook themselves admit they didn't do enough to protect their foreign colonies.
What the hell is that?
But the bigger problem is Facebook themselves
let me see.
Admit they didn't do enough to protect.
Ooh, that's too fast. God damn it.
Their foreign colonies. But the bigger problem is that their entire platform rewards the most harmful misinformation. And leaked documents show Zuck rejecting potential fixes to this
misinformation. That's a word I was looking for.
Problem because they would reduce user engagement.
Facebook has realized if they change the algorithm to be safer, they'll make less money.
Facebook claims their goal is to bring the world closer together. But reckless expansion and an engagement at all costs approach has in many cases brought the world further apart. But to answer
But here's the question: is this um, Mark Zuckerberg's fault, or is this the world's and humans' fault? That's very debatable here. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Because like, is it really his fault that like people are just a lot of these people are just scumbags that just want to spread misinformation out there and cause damage to the world? Is it really his fault? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is very complicated. Humans are fucking crazy. And I put myself in that because I'm crazy too, you know?
The question of the most evil company, there's an entire sector we need to look at. Oil companies. Here's what they're up to.
Ooh, that word and torture. Damn.
And introducing the population to flavored water. BP caused the biggest oil spill in US history when their rig exploded in the Gulf of Mexico. But the worst oil company ever spawned into existence in 1911 when Rockefeller's Standard Oil got split into 34 pieces. A few of those pieces merged together to form Exxon, which later merged into ExxonMobil. They're now the biggest US-based oil company.
Look at all the structure.
Producing 3% of the world's petroleum. And they are everything wrong with the industry.
ExxonMobil.
They of course have sketchy relations to overseas abuse, as well as their own historic oil spill, where they fought against paying out penalties for 14 years. But Exxon's greatest evil affects the entire planet, because back in the 70s, they conducted internal research that found burning fossil fuels was influencing the global climate in ways that would be potentially catastrophic and irreversible. Having a product that's actively cooking the earth is a big problem for the marketing department. Exxon proceeded to spend millions of dollars in support of climate change denial. They funded science-denying front groups and bought an advertisement in the New York Times every week for 30 years to mislead people on the studies they themselves conducted. Exxon's early predictions of global warming ended up being more accurate than NASA's, but they weren't in the business of working towards a fix. Exxon's especially evil because they put the planet on the line, but so did another company.
Something wrong with this cow. And they keep trying to tell me there's nothing wrong with these things.
In 1998, a farmer in West Virginia noticed his animals dying from disturbing symptoms. This farmer happened to live near a landfill for the chemical company DuPont. He hired a lawyer,
DuPont,
who took legal action against the company, demanding internal documents. They sent back 110,000 pages.
Damn.
Just to be annoying.
Middle finger.
But the lawyer read through all of it, and what he found was more disturbing than what anyone could have imagined. In 1938, a DuPont chemist accidentally discovered an impossibly slippery substance. They called it Teflon, and they sold it to the world as a miracle nonstick coating. Soon, it was in nearly every kitchen in America. In order to create Teflon, DuPont used another chemical called PFOA.
PFOA.
This stuff doesn't naturally break down. It's pretty much indestructible. It's a forever chemical. DuPont was slightly concerned about this, so they began conducting internal studies. What they found
Too much chemistry for me.
was that PFOA would kill animals in a single dose, was linked to birth defects and cancer in humans, and was highly toxic. When these results were shown to the execs, they were like, "Dear God, we can't have our chemicals killing people. I know it's terrible. We need to." I didn't finish my sentence.
This was kind of differently made than the old videos because it's almost like he's acting, explaining it at the same time. Like, dude, like I said, storytelling here is just great.
We can't have our chemicals killing people, getting in the way of our business. What? Don't release any of these studies publicly.
Look at his face.
And don't tell the regulators. We're making $1 billion a year in profit from this. It's too risky for us to stop. Plus, I think we'll be fine. I mean, it's not like we're dumping this stuff
$1 billion a year
into the environment. DuPont was dumping so much of this stuff into the environment that they had lost track of how much they had dumped. They were doing all of this despite being clearly warned not to. And it was this dumping that killed the livestock in West Virginia, which resulted in the lawsuit that exposed everything. DuPont had to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements, and they began phasing out these chemicals, but it was too late. 99% of people on Earth now have forever chemicals, or PFAS, in their blood, thanks to DuPont and a few of their business pals.
Damn.
Most people have levels that are of lower concern, but
0.2 ml and G/ml. So 2% is safe.
Millions have amounts that put them at a higher risk of cancer.
89% of people have are at medium risk, and then 9% of people are at high risk,
and other complications. Forever chemicals are decreasing in use, but they remain a problem. And because so many regulators have ties to chemical companies like DuPont, they might be sticking around.
Damn, now that's evil.
But this next company also messes with our health in a more evil way. Imagine there's a button. Every time you click it, you make $10,000. But
ooh, I want to click that. Give me that button.
a random person dies.
Oof.
What would you do? A normal person would get hesitant.
I think a normal person wouldn't even care, to be honest, because humans don't give a shit about anything.
A health insurance company.
I would be hesitant, but I think depending on the situation, I'd probably press this button just a few times, just so I could get something and then stop, depending on the situation I'm living. If I'm in a good situation, I'm not. And I'm gonna, okay, y'all gonna say anything, but I think y'all would do the same thing. So I'm just trying to be clear here, okay? What would you guys do? Would you do this? Would you not do this? No hypocrisy here, guys. No hypocrisy here. If you don't have anything, what would you do? Would you press the button or not? Nah, but it's better if we found a way to make money without killing people. That's better. That's actually a lot better, okay? This is all hypothetical, guys. Hypothetical. It's not going to happen. Stop.
Would get an auto clicker. See, for United Healthcare, this isn't a random button. It's a denial button. And it's not hurting random people. It's hurting people who've been paying United thousands of dollars a year for insurance.
Yeah, they would just do this forever because they don't give a shit about nothing.
Under the promise that when they get sick, United will cover their expensive medical care.
Ooh.
This auto clicker also exists in real life. It's called NH Predict. It's an AI tool that automatically rejects people's requests for medical treatment with an alleged 90% error rate. Armed with this tool, United is infamous for its denials. The most cited number is that they deny 33% of treatment requests, but this was based on pretty incomplete data. United doesn't release their actual numbers, and they tell employees not to answer questions about their decision making, so we don't have much information. But we do know that 1 in 3 doctors have seen insurance delays lead to a serious adverse event, anything from hospitalization to death, with many doctors complaining specifically about United.
You had a life-threatening condition, you have insurance, it should be covered, period. Yep. And they are fighting it with technicalities. This is United Healthcare.
Apart from denying to do the one thing they promised to do, United also gives secret bonuses to try and keep patients out of hospitals, because each hospital visit costs them money. United claims this prevents unnecessary care, while whistleblowers say it puts elderly patients in danger. But United...
So hold up. So this is like a stock premium system type? Like, for example, you receive a premium from the clients every month, and then once you get exercised, and you're supposed to receive the amount of money they're supposed to receive for the promise of healthcare, you don't receive it? Damn, okay. Sorry, guys, I'm not educated enough when it comes to it. I'm trying to educate myself.
Much more than an insurance company. Ever since 2011, insurers have been required by law to spend 85% of the money they collect from customers on their
I knew it.
actual medical care. So United does actually pay out a majority of their revenue on treatment requests. But they're okay with this, because in many cases, they own the hospitals that get the money. United is affiliated with 10% of all the doctors in the US, and their pharmacy company controls 20% of the market. So United collects insurance money, then pays it to their own medical care providers at inflated rates. But even more insane is that United also owns a company that supplies medical loans to doctors and patients. So if United denies to pay your medical bill and you have to go into debt to afford your treatment, they make money off that too. The healthcare system in the United States has a lot of problems, and the United Health Group makes money off all of them.
This is like the perfect trap. This is the perfect scam, guys.
But while United...
The literal perfect scam. Oh, man. All approved by the law, by the way.
...plays a part in a troubling...
This is crazy, dog. Crazy.
...industry, other companies create industries that harm even more people.
This is a man who smokes Marlboro cigarettes.
Honestly, after everything I've seen here, the cigarettes companies, they are nothing compared to these. Because at least with the cigarettes, at least they're very aware of the risk that it does like lungs cancer and shit, and it's harmful for you, etc. At least the marketing is good and honest because they know that it's not good for you. At least that. So I don't even think this freaking like Marlboro companies, for example, they're evil because at least they're being honest about it.
What kind of a man is he?
In 1954, tobacco conglomerate Philip Morris created the Marlboro Man, the most influential marketing campaign in history. Rather than advertising through information, Marlboro advertised through lifestyle. The Marlboro Man was masculine, rugged, and free, unconcerned with non-manly things, like getting cancer. See, in the earlier 1950s,
like you're more of a man if you look cool and you run the risk of having lung cancer.
Studies began linking smoking to lung cancer, and sensing danger, all the top tobacco CEOs met up at a hotel.
Not that I have anything against people smoking because they do whatever they want with their lives, I'm saying.
They knew they needed to work together, but they also knew advertising alone wouldn't save them, and neither would it.
It's just that they actually made the marketing that it is cool to have a cigarette like on your mouth or on your ears, like right here more or less, and then you look cool, you look interesting, but in the reality, whether you like it or not, and I'm sorry if you smoke it, it's just, it tastes, it doesn't just taste really bad, but it also smells really bad. And you can sense somebody who has smoked for freaking meters away because like there's the freaking smell is like stays stuck in your body. And it's crazy, Like I said, I respect it because like people do whatever they want with their lives. But it's bad overall, guys. The only thing I think people do this is because people say it helps them with anxiety, and I understand it because like I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. Like, dude, I said in the beginning of the video, I am addicted to freaking Coke, which okay, I don't think it's as bad as a cigarette, or it could be. I don't know. So I think all of us have our own addictions, But with the cigarette, it's crazy because I think you affect people around you as well if you smoke too much. But I don't know. What do y'all think, man? Sorry, I'm over yapping. I'm just over yapping at this point.
Attacking the anti-smoking research. What they needed to do was take control of this science. In a full-page advertisement ran in over 400 newspapers, the Tobacco Bros gave a frank statement to cigarette smokers, where they cast doubt on the current research and announced their very own Tobacco Industry Research Committee, which would be run by scientists of unimpeachable integrity.
Unimpeachable integrity.
They hand-selected. The totally unbiased committee worked tirelessly to defend tobacco.
More doctors smoke Camels.
You'll feel better when you change to
Philip Morris launched light and low-tar cigarettes to give smokers a safer alternative to quitting. But these products were just as bad, and Philip Morris knew this. They even tweaked the product to make it hit harder by freebasing it, a chemical process you may recognize from things such as crack. They also tried their best to quietly target the youth, saying today's teenager is tomorrow's potential regular customer. But despite their PR efforts, Big Tobacco was getting cooked, and in 1994, Congress called them in for questioning in what would become one of the most infamous moments in corporate history.
Let me ask you first, I'd like to just go down the row, yes or no. Do you believe nicotine is not addictive?
I believe nicotine is not addictive, yes.
I don't believe that nicotine or our products are addictive.
I believe nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
I believe.
Okay, nicotine is addictive. We are in the business of selling nicotine, an addictive drug effective in the release of stress. Exactly. Helps with anxiety. A lot of people, they are drinking. They're smoking it because release of stress, anxiety. The reason why I drink this shit right here is because of freaking anxiety. Because our lives these days are just full of anxiety.
Nicotine is not addictive.
And I too believe that nicotine is not addictive.
But did you notice how they all said believe? This was a legal trick to avoid being punished for lying under oath. And it did work. None of these guys went to jail, but after 2 years of backlash, all of them had lost their jobs.
Damn.
In 2006, a court ruled that Big Tobacco had lied, misrepresented, and deceived the American public in every way physically possible with little, if any, regard for individual illness and suffering.
They will never care. All they care about is this, baby, and y'all have to understand it. The world doesn't care about me or you. The world cares about this here right here, and that's the only thing that matters, unfortunately. as painful as it may sound, this goes for casinos, for nicotine or whatever, or anything that y'all think they only care about profits, baby. That's all they care about.
Punishment, they had to put corrective statements on their packaging. Tobacco still kills over 7 million people a year. That's over 19,000 a day. Philip Morris's Marlboro Man changed the world, but 5 of them are now dead from smoking-related illness. Based off body count alone,
like I said, I don't judge anybody because it's easy for me, and I learned this lesson as I grew throughout life. You know, we don't have the right to judge why people do this. Like when I was young, I used to be such a dumbass and such a moron. So I'd just go ahead and judge people. Oh, why you do this? Why do you do that? Why do you act a certain way? Why do you smoke, for example? And it's just as I was saying earlier in the video. And like the thing is, back then I didn't know like the reality of life, and like life is different for everybody. You know, you can meet a person that is living their best lives on one side, and on the next side, and on the other side, you might meet up someone who's dealing with the worst time of their lives, and they're dealing with depression, you know, lack of money, you know, financial struggle. Like I said, maybe relationship struggle, maybe some type of addiction, maybe something is going on in their lives, you know, maybe health problems. And it's really not up to us to judge anybody at this point. You know, this is why nowadays I try to be careful. A lot of the yapping that I do in this channel is just for the sake of content, because I have to talk. Otherwise, this is not going to count as a video that I, you know, worked for. I'm just watching. I have to give my opinion. I have to over yap a little bit, right? But I think that I wouldn't judge anybody these days, because like only you know what you go through on a daily basis. Only I know. For example, I want to stop drinking Coke, but I can't. I just can't, because whether I like it or not, it helps with my anxiety. But I know ultimately it's unhealthy for me. Some of y'all are trying to stop smoking, but y'all can't because y'all going through so much, and the cigarette helps you. Some of y'all are trying to stop gambling, but y'all can't because y'all are sick, you know, and y'all don't have control because y'all are going through something that might be stronger than you at this moment. It's such a hard thing, man. It's such a hard reality. And the more I grow, the more I realize that it's not up to me or anybody to judge anybody, you know, because only you know what you go through at the end of the day, and only you know the weight that you carry on your shoulders. But yeah, if you can, please stop with your addictions, and it goes for me as well, because I gotta stop drinking this shit.
Philip Morris may be the most evil company ever.
I mean, not ever. Not forever. I can maybe drink here casually, but like at this rate, it's too much.
But what if evil was about more than just fatalities? A lot of people accuse the $13 trillion asset
BlackRock. Let's see what BlackRock is about.
Management company
not what it's about, what they're doing.
BlackRock of buying up the single-family housing supply, pricing out normal people from ever owning a home. But they're only directly involved in other forms of real estate. There's a different company that's really buying the house you want. And it's actually the company that created BlackRock, Blackstone. They named it like that just to be annoying.
Blackstone?
Blackstone is the biggest landlord in the United States, using their
biggest landlord?
Infinite money supply from rich investors to swoop up housing specifically after market crashes. To Blackstone, the housing shortage is great news because it gives them pricing power, allowing their rents to grow much faster than inflation and sometimes at double the market rate. Blackstone also formed a company called Invitation Homes that now holds the largest number of single-family rentals in the US. In 2024, they had to refund $48 million for scamming their renters with junk fees and misleading them about eviction policies after the CEO had instructed staff to juice this hog.
Juice this hog?
There are plenty of other turbo landlords out
Sorry, man, I'm a little confused.
bidding normal people for homes, and plenty of other tactics they use to milk their tenants, like monopolistic AI-powered rent pricing.
So hold on, he said that BlackRock or Blackstone, so once there's a market crash, they raise the prices of the rent? Is that what they do, more or less? And they make money off of that? I did not understand too much.
Services and ignoring repairs. But according to these companies, they're actually the good guys.
If we think the American dream is embodied in a suburban home with a yard and a white picket fence, then I think we're making the American dream much more accessible.
Rent your American dream.
You can rent the American dream.
But to be fair,
Rent the American dream. How am I gonna rent? It's like renting the American dream is like you telling me to rent $1 million. Like you can rent $1 million. How am I gonna rent $1 million? It's not gonna work, man.
of the $2 trillion of US homes sold in 2024, corporate overlords only bought 0.3%. Their purchases are concentrated in certain neighborhoods, so if you're in the Sun Belt or living in a mobile home, you might feel their wrath, but companies like Blackstone didn't create the cost of living crisis. They just found a way to profit off it. But this next company is evil in every possible way. In 1996, Purdue Pharma launched a painkiller called OxyContin. During the release party, Purdue owner and cartoon villain Richard Sackler said the new drug would bring a blizzard of prescriptions that will bury the competition, and he wasn't lying. Purdue launched a massive Oxy marketing campaign with an army of sales reps incentivized with large bonuses. They went over to doctors and falsely claimed that Oxy's addiction risk was less than 1%, and that normal signs of patients being addicted, like asking for higher doses and early refills, didn't mean they were addicted. It meant they were pseudo-addicted, and the solution was a higher dose. Purdue held
What?
conferences and flew out thousands of doctors to tell them how awesome OxyContin was, and the drug started bringing in billions. But there was one small problem. In
That was one small problem.
2001, a
I love that line.
prosecutor gave a conservative estimate
From him.
that Oxy had killed 59 people in his half of the state. Richard Sackler responded to this in a private email, saying, "This is not too bad. It could have been far worse." It got far worse. More and more people began getting addicted, and Oxy overdoses were kinda becoming a serious issue. On top of that, in 2007, Purdue was forced to pay a $600 million fine for false advertising.
Whoa.
Richard Sackler's PR strategy of
Dude, the amount of money involved in these things are just horrendous to me.
hammering on the abusers in every way possible didn't seem to be working, because by the 2010s, all of this negative publicity was hurting the Oxy market. But Purdue had one genius plan to recapture lost sales. They
Recapture lost sales.
hired McKinsey. McKinsey is a management consulting company. They get paid an insane amount of money to tell businesses what to do. When Walmart hired them in the early 2000s, they told the company to cut costs by dropping employee benefits. When they worked with Allstate Insurance, they invented the legendary
Dropping employee benefits.
deny button. So needless to say, McKinsey and Purdue Pharma were the perfect match. McKinsey cooked up what they called the OxyContin Sales Engine Turbocharge Plan. It involved advertising how Oxy reduces stress while countering the emotional messages from mothers with teenagers that overdosed. McKinsey also suggested giving refunds to pharmacies for every customer who got addicted. But even Purdue was like, bro, come on, that's too far. There's no way you just said that. With McKinsey's help, Purdue went on a generational marketing run, and opioids were printing them money. But by 2019, they were facing some lawsuits. 1,000 lawsuits.
Whoa, 1,000?
This is not too bad. It could have been far worse. $2 trillion of lawsuits.
What the fuck? The US GDP.
Purdue
Just kidding.
declared bankruptcy, and in 2020,
Are you for real?
they were found guilty for conspiracy to defraud the United States and offering illegal kickbacks to doctors. They reached a $7.4 billion settlement, with $6.5 to be paid by Richard Sackler's family.
Wow.
Luckily, they've stashed away a lot more than that, so they'll be fine.
Oh my god. Okay. Even Purdue filed for bankruptcy. The family still retained a net worth of $10 billion. Yo, this is insane. It's not like $10 million. It's $10 billion. You have to see that the difference between the M and the B is like so far like apart from each other that y'all have no idea. This is literally like the next 1,000 generations. Okay, maybe a little too far, but definitely a couple hundred generations, I think. Or dozens of generations. Or maybe if you don't do anything stupid, forever. I don't know. Insane.
The supplier of the raw ingredients for the opioids was actually a name you might recognize.
And some people out there are just trying to make $1 a day.
Johnson & Johnson, the company known for bangers like putting asbestos in baby powder, aggressively selling cancer-worsening drugs, and making...
Some people are here just trying to monetize their YouTube channels and earn $1 a day. Not even $10 a day. Not even $100 a day. Not even $1,000 a day. All I want is $1 a day. $1 a day keeps the doctor away.
The Wish.com version of the COVID vaccine. They had to pay $5 billion. A few other opioid pushers added another 21, and McKinsey paid $650 million.
Wait, what?
No one from these companies went to jail, except for one guy at McKinsey for obstructing justice. Not only did these companies' schemes cost hundreds of thousands of lives, but they also permanently damaged trust in the entire industry. If you wonder why people are skeptical of medicine and pharma, this is why.
Bro, look at that. 5 billion, 21 billion, 6.5 billion. This is too much.
Purdue is the most evil company of the modern age. But to find the most evil company ever, we need to go back in time. Spices are something you take for granted today, but back in the 1600s, they were the ultimate status symbol. Displaying your spices was like displaying gold bars, but their supply mostly came from a handful of islands in Indonesia, and the Dutch wanted in on this. So they went to their top merchants and said, here's how we're getting those spices. All you guys will merge together to form one massive company. We'll call it the Dutch East India Company. And for funding, we'll get a bunch of investors to pull together money for you. In exchange, they'll get a piece of your bounty.
Dude, all of that editing mainly with After Effects, I think it was done with After Effects, is so pure gold because it's like simple and complex at the same time. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Supply. Your stock? Yes, we'll call it stock. They'll own stock in your company. All right, now that we invented capitalism, go conquer Indonesia. Sure. Oh, wait.
Whoa.
Wait, one more thing. You want to use the army? In 1621, the Dutch East India Company massacred 90% of the Bandanese population. Then they enslaved all the survivors, which was only like 1,000 people, so they imported more slaves from all around the world to run their spice monopoly. They went on to conquer the majority of Indonesia, take Sri Lanka for its cinnamon, and run up a colony in South Africa, all while destroying entire villages and burning down rival crops to keep their market dominance. These brutal conquests gave the Dutch all the spices they ever wanted. But the British wanted in on this too. So they started the British East India Company and conquered India with an army bigger than Britain's actual army. Then they started selling opium to China, which led to mass addiction. China was like, stop. The British East India Company was like,
whoa.
Back in India, after facing 100 years of land seizures, economic destruction, and racism, the locals revolted. The British East India Company destroyed this rebellion with mass executions and village burnings. But their atrocities were becoming a bit too mainstream, so Britain dissolved the company in 1874 and took control of India itself. The East India companies were uniquely evil. Other companies used slave labor, but the East Indias ran their entire empire on it. Some companies invade countries, but the East Indias destroyed countries. Modern corporations run aggressive pharmaceutical sales tactics, but the East Indias did it first. But all of these companies have one thing in common. They were driven by the exact same pursuit. It's a pursuit that's done incredible things for humanity, but go too far, and humanity pays the price.
It flips back on you, backfires on you. Completely. Which makes me wonder, it makes me always think that money ultimately is a tool, not a tool and not like an end point, let's just say, you know. For example, it's probably like an amplifier to what you are already. If you make money, you can like do it for good causes or bad causes, you know? And, well, I don't know how to explain, but ultimately, this money game is just so insane to me. Just think about how they conquer the world, how people invade countries, and how far they go for the sake of, you know, establishing companies like that and making billions of dollars, which some of these people help the world and some of these people, they fuck up the world. Like, it's just too many things at once for me to understand, to grasp it all at once.
Evil companies ever are long gone now, but the endless pursuit of profit is very much alive.
This is another banger from Jack Pockets. W video. Great video. Great video, man. Great video. Like, I have no idea what's the structure behind his videos. If he's doing it all by himself, which I highly doubt because his videos are way too good to be done with only one person doing the script writing, the storytelling, the problem solving structure of the video, the song, the editing, the after effects, the motion graphics. Everything is just too much for one person. Or I don't know, maybe he is. The narration, everything is just Jack Pocket's like great video. Y'all have no idea how hard it is to do a video like that. It's a great video. Like there's no doubt about it. So yes, that was it, guys. That was my little reaction. Hope y'all understood and hope y'all learned something from it. Yeah, let's keep watching more videos. Let's keep reacting to more content. Let's keep learning. Let's keep talking. Let's keep over yapping. And yeah, see you in the next one. Subscribe if you like it.